everyone, welcome to the Northland Artists Conversation. My name is Mark Kelly. I am your host on this amazingly insightful journey of creative people throughout Northland. And you know what? It's a bit of a cause for celebration today, a bit of a cause for celebration for this podcast. For the first time in over 4 months, we have myself, producer Andrew, and editor Rocky all in the studio. It is a glorious, glorious time. There we go. So we're all happy days. It's good to have everyone back in the studio all at once. As I said, it's been a while. Early December is roughly when I figured we were last all together. So guys, welcome back. That's cool, even though you still technically come here on off times anyway. Golf clap. Anywho, I digress. I'm going to go to my camera. Whoosh. Today's guest, man, so this is the incredible cosplay queen, Kealy Murphy. Now, I knew Kealy, we met at Plunge 2021, and she was one of the people that I actually sat down and interviewed for short segments that we were doing for that year, and that is actually the whole impetus for the Northland Artists Conversation. So to have her come in and sit down in the chair across from me and just talk and shoot the breeze and talk some shit and have a lot of laughs was great. She was such a cool guest, just super nice to have her in and talk with her. She's got some amazing things coming up, and I mean amazing, that she is doing for Armageddon 2023 All-Stars. I think that's it. It is All-Stars. And what the All-Stars event is, that is for previous winners of cosplay events. So she's right up there. So she's going for a big one this year. She talks about it in quite a bit of detail, which is cool. And, you know, she shares some amazing insights behind how she does things, how she creates, and sort of really the depth that she goes into to get a costume as close to accurate as possible. I tell you what, I'll shut up. Let's sit down and have a conversation with Kealy Murphy. So for anyone that's watching, I'm reading from the notes that Kealy's emailed me. Kealy Murphy, welcome to the Northland Artists Conversation.
Hello. Excited to be here.
Look, we are super excited to have you here, and this is yet another first for us. We had Potter Rod Cunliffe come in a few weeks ago, and we'd previously had his wife, Wendy, in. So obviously earlier this year we had Anna in, who
My
is
wife, yes.
your bestie, BFF, your work wife or just wife? Just wife.
Yeah.
Your wife.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're here. Now this is quite exciting because you guys both collaborate together quite a lot. And if people look at your Instagram and Facebook pages, they'll see the two of you
Anna's
working
photography,
together. And Anna's does also the photography of a lot of your work as well, right?
A lot of my work.
Yeah. Now, one of your most recent posts is is it Katniss Everdeen costume?
Yeah.
Did she do the shoot?
No, so she's been busy moving house this week, so I sort of had to rope in my husband to be my temporary photographer on that day.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to get quite a bit into the cosplay side of things because obviously Anna has quite a bit of experience in that as well, but you actually make the cosplay costumes, right?
Yeah, Anna does too, just not as much as I do.
As you do. You do. And I think, you know, having had a look through your Instagram, which is Kealy_ or Kealy/Ann?
Kealy.Ann.
Kealy.Ann, that's KEALY.ANN. Welcome. We come prepared for that's on your Instagram, and some of the photos in there are amazing. There's the Katniss Everdeen ones that you've done recently, but then we've got some of the Elsa ones, some of the Suicide Squad ones.
Yeah, those are Anna.
Those are nice, but there's a really nice range in there as well. So I mean, to my first question. And this will be a reference to Anna's podcast, is why hasn't she had a Lord of the Rings costume made for her yet?
I don't know. I don't even know why I haven't yet either, because...
What?
I know. We were looking at doing some this year, actually, for the Armageddon Expo in October.
Oh, that's in October. Yes, excellent.
Yeah, so I was going to do Arwen, and she's looking at doing either Eowyn or Aragorn.
I think she mentioned Aragorn. I think she mentioned Aragorn.
She hasn't decided which one yet.
Now, what's interesting is the lady that we filmed on Monday, and that was Gabriella Weber-Oswald. She makes these beautiful little mouse sculptures.
Oh my god.
She made a Gandalf the mouse.
Yeah.
That's now in pride of shot. Now, let's go right back. As we always do. We always go right back to the start, because I think it's interesting to find out where an artist, which you are, got into where they are now. So, your creative expression and your output, did that always manifest itself as cosplay, or did you start off
not at all.
doing something else?
No, so I was drawing ever since I can remember.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to be an animator from, the time I knew what a job was. Yeah.
Okay.
I ended up going to animation school even. And
did you
getting,
really? Which one?
It was freelance animation school at the time.
Okay.
And then I think they went into media design school and they mushed together, and then they became UB. So I
Heard of UB, yes.
Yeah, I think that's what they are now.
Okay. We've had UB sounds familiar, producer Andrew. Oh, we've had another guest.
No, I don't think so. Not UB.
Well, someone that had mentioned it. Leonard? Maybe. Leonard McDougall.
If it was anyone, it would have been him.
Yeah, another guest. So, yeah, the name UB certainly makes a lot of sense. So, what happened to the drawing dream? Now, when did that start? You say as long as you can remember. Were you like in nappies drawing shit on the walls?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
No, so what happened is when we moved here to New Zealand, because we're originally from Australia, my family, we started renting in North Ave, and my dad drew this huge mural on every side of my bedroom wall, and it was Alice in Wonderland and all these nursery rhymes and stuff. And
Okay.
yeah,
So you get your dad is a big inspiration.
huge.
Still is?
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
You should see the trucks he makes; they're incredible.
Trucks.
He makes little wooden trucks, like 2-scale replicas, and you wouldn't know that they weren't 3D printed or something.
And
They're
he
made,
lives in Whangarei.
yeah, they're made entirely from wood.
Keely's dad, we're coming for you. We're going to make it happen. Okay, so and this love and passion, did this kind of go all the way through like primary school, intermediate, secondary? Were you very heavily focused in the arts and drawing, or were you just like
Always.
okay?
Yeah, so drawing, drew Harry Potter characters forever as a child, because that was, the thing at the time. Pokemon, Digimon, Dragon Ball Z, that was my jam.
Digimon. Oh man, I remember that Digimon.
Used to decorate everyone's notebooks and school books and stuff with drawings, because I was really good as a child.
Okay.
Then in high school, went and did. So in high school, I had an art teacher who told me that I was absolutely rubbish and I'd never make it as an artist.
Stop it,
and I was just like, I can tell you're just jealous that I'm better than you. Because she was awful.
Okay, it's a she, but we're not going to reveal any more information, are we?
But then next
Especially
year...
if she's not still teaching. That would be... Oh, shit, okay.
No. We're all good.
Name and shame. No, we won't. We won't. We'll be good.
But the year after that, we got this amazing new art teacher, and his name was Hugh McDonald. He still teaches there, and he was incredible. He just absolutely fostered my talents and was like, yeah, okay, you are as good as your ego makes you out to be.
Right, okay. Now, Hugh McDonald, does he teach at Quarry Arts by any chance?
I have no idea. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Oh, wow. Man, because that name sounds really... This podcast so far is harking back to a lot of previous podcast interviews, which have been very cool. Okay, so Hugh's the man.
Yep.
Hugh says, no, your ego's the right size for your talent.
Yeah, he's like, you should definitely look at pursuing something. You've got something here. And then it was him who I told, I've always wanted to be an animator, 2D drawing. That's what I've always been interested in.
Was there a particular animation style that you were interested in? Was it
Just
was
Disney? Yeah.
Look, folks, none of us saw that coming.
Right?
No, none whatsoever. Were there particular Disney films that really resonated with you the most?
Okay, so this is another fun story.
Okay, hit me with it.
When I was still living in Australia as a very little one, I used to go to one of my dad's boss's houses, and they'd sit me in front of the TV, and I'd get to watch Snow White on VHS over and over again.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. So I'd seen Snow White. And then we moved to New Zealand, and we used to go to the video shop every, Friday night, as you do.
Video
well, not
shop,
anymore,
man, love the video shop. Get the weekly rentals.
Yeah.
5 for $10.
And so I would always go to the kids section and pick out a Disney movie.
Yeah.
And then take it up to the counter, and then Dad would get it, and he'd be like, "No, you've seen this one before. You go get another one."
Okay.
I'd never seen any of the other Disney movies apart from Snow White. He just kept saying that because he didn't want to be stuck at home watching Disney movies.
Wow.
And so instead I grew up on things like the Blues Brothers and Wayne's World because that's what he wanted to watch. And so I didn't actually see my first Disney movie apart from Snow White until I was 19.
19?
Yeah.
19?
Yeah.
Oh my... Okay. I can't mock that. Dad had some game.
Yeah.
Dad has been incredibly talented. That's brilliant, though. Good for you, Dad.
Blues Brothers and...
Yep.
Gosh, what else did we have? Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay, so you're... As an artist going through high school, I know that it can be quite hard because, especially if... there's because often the art students are sort of a little bit outcast.
I didn't care.
You didn't?
No, I just let my freak flag fly in high school and I didn't care.
Freak flag.
I was a freak, I still am.
Okay.
But it didn't bother me because what are they gonna do? Make fun of me? Oh no, I'm weird.
All right.
I already know that.
So how old do you think you were when you realised you had no fucks to give?
No. Honestly, no, I can't answer it.
Okay. if you want to.
No, it was basically my family's growing up poor our whole life, sort of thing,
Okay.
And Mum sent us to private schools, one in Faux Valley, and then sent us to Pompelia in our high school years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we were poor kids going to the school where everybody knows each other and they all come from, money.
Yeah.
Essentially. Yep. And so, we get made fun of all the time for looking like poor Hara as. And I was like...
Poor Hara?
Yeah.
Can we, Editor Rocky, can we add poor Hara to the rest of the terms underneath Butty, Mint, Manus and Spondies, please? Thank you. Oh, it's just getting these amazing words. Okay, so you were the poor Hara child that had holes in the clothes.
Oh, no, I didn't know, because Mum is a seamstress. Mum sews. And so
this is where Mum comes in.
Homemade uniforms.
Homemade uniform?
Homemade uniform.
How do you homemake a uniform?
Well, you go to Bethel's and you see what they're selling as the Pompelia uniform, and then you either go to the op shop and buy it second hand, or you go, all right, that's white, that's blue, and then you go and buy some fabric and sew it yourself.
That's amazing. That's ingenuity. And I guess when you don't come from wealth, you have to figure out...
Yeah.
What do the kids call them nowadays? Life hacks.
Yes, yeah.
Life hacks.
My family was full of the life hacks.
Yes. My son is all about the life hacks. It's like, no, that's not a life hack, bro. Okay. So, flying the freak flag at high school, and proudly, and you obviously made a very conscious decision that you were like, that's it. I'm going to go study animation.
Yep.
And you went and did that.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Do you have a degree, diploma?
I have a diploma in applied animation level 5, I think it is.
What? Congratulations.
Yeah.
Does that give you the letters after the name, or is that a degree?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It's been so long. It was 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
I'd have to pull it out and
Here's my certificate.
Okay.
Now, but the interesting thing is, I imagine as someone who does cosplay, the drawing element in it would be critical because you would have to sketch.
See, you'd think that.
I would?
But I don't do that.
But of course not.
I'm probably one of the few people who don't sketch things out.
Of course not. How foolish of me. All right. So, what is your process for building the Huntress costume? Because I think that's one of the ones I've seen.
So building the Huntress costume, I just went to Anna and was like, hey, can I borrow your Huntress costume that you have in your wardrobe, please?
Well, there we have it, folks. That's the technical way that things get done. Ask your mates. All right, smarty pants. What was one that you've done? Katniss Everdeen?
Yeah, so for that, what happens is I watch the movie again and then I get hyper fixated on things like that particular dress. Actually, that one, so my partner and I are finally going on our honeymoon at the end of this year.
What? How long have you guys been married for?
Oh, we got married in 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, right?
Okay.
And so now we get to go on our honeymoon. One of the places we're going to is Atlanta. We're going to Dragon Con over there, which is a huge costume convention.
Yeah.
And one of the hotels that it's hosted in is one of the locations where the Hunger Games was filmed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I said to Cameron, I was like, hey, should we do Katniss and Peter? And then we can recreate all of the stills from that one scene.
Absolutely.
So that's how that came about. And then from there, I just look at hundreds upon hundreds of reference photos. So I'll scour the internet, seeing if the costumes have ever been on display anywhere in exhibits or whatnot. And then I'll just find photos, put them all in a folder, and then just sit there scrolling through them. Okay. Working things out.
Do you have a look at any behind the scenes stuff? Because I know the Lord of the Rings.
There's so much.
There's tons there. The extended box sets for each of the original trilogy. It's like a 3-hour movie and 4 hours worth of bonus content. Mm-hmm. Is there that sort of depth behind all of the characters that you make?
Not always.
Okay.
I'm very lucky for these costumes that I've currently made, the Katniss, and I'm working on Peter at the moment, that there is all of that, there's every angle of the costumes possible that you could want. So I do that, and then from there I start thinking, are there any commercially available sewing patterns that I could use to recreate these costumes?
Right, okay.
Or is this something I'm going to have to draft myself? And
the drawing part?
Hey, but I try and avoid that as much as possible because I hate doing it.
Someone who loves drawing today now hating drawing.
It's a different kind of drawing. Drafting is a more technical, math-involved thing,
X length and layer and stuff like that.
I don't care for that.
Okay,
I like making things pretty.
Okay. So with Katniss, you obviously were able to get enough reference material.
Oh yeah.
And then were you able to find a pattern that you could use?
Yeah. So I found a very old one that I'd used a few times before, that I'd just have to alter, so...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one of the things that I had to do for it is it was a full-length wedding skirt pattern that I was using. And if you see the photos, she has a mullet skirt, which means, it's shorter in the front, and then it's got the long train party in the back.
Oh, right, yes. Yeah. I was thinking, I don't know how the hell it relates to bad hairdos, but okay. Sorry, mullet people, I don't mean to offend anyone.
So that's one of the things I had to do, and then I had to combine the top into the skirt as well, and then I drafted the collar and the straps myself. So,
for those of us that are not terribly au fait with Hunger Games, apologies. What is that in Hunger Games? The first one? Second one. So that's
Catching Fire.
And is there a particular scene that's
from? It's when they're getting ready for the Quarter Quell, which is the second Hunger Games event, and they're going on the chariots to be dragged through the the city.
Oh, okay. I think I do know the part. Whoever edits this, we're going to throw a picture up there so that we all know. See?
Copyright.
We point it accordingly. Yeah. Copyright infringement. Okay. Well, it's a really... Now, that's obviously a pre-established character.
Mm-hmm.
As is the Huntress. As is Elsa and some of the others. But have you ever... What about when you're building an original? Like something that's not from anything, but is literally... You take an idea from the top of your head. Is that something that you do? Or do you
I do sometimes. I make a lot of Disney bounds, which is when you make an outfit based on like a Disney princess, like sort of what I'm doing today. That's what I've gone for here.
Okay.
So my outfit's inspired by Ariel, the Little Mermaid. So I've got the red hair,
Okay,
the
I get
blue
that now.
skirt, and
Didn't
the black
get that
top
before.
part. But
Didn't get that before, but I get it now. Now that I see it.
it's based on a costume she wears in the movie, but
Okay.
it's not a direct copy of it. It's you take that as inspiration and then...
So it's like a homage?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's what Disney adults do so that they can wear princess costumes in the parks without being kicked out, because you're not allowed to dress up over the age of 14 in the parks there.
Is that real?
Yeah. Well, they don't want,
Someone
Uncle
being
Steve turning up dressed as Elsa, being like, "Hey kiddies, come here," and dragging them off in the bathroom. Like...
And
Could
she's
you
officially made producer Andrew and editor Rocky break. Uncle Steve sounds like a good Elsa. Come on, kids, here's some candy. Let it go.
So to get around that rule, they...
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's called Disney bounding. And
Disney bounding.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now, there is something interesting that you wrote in your pre-interview forms. One of the questions was, tell us a little bit about your background in general, growing up, after schooling, after school, etc. Always encouraged to dress up from a young age. Spent childhood dressing as Wednesday Addams.
yes,
And which Wednesday Addams are we talking about?
Christina Ricci.
Thank you very kindly.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you a fan of the Jenna Ortega?
Yeah, I've actually made the dress she wears when she's all...
She's doing her... I'm
Her
sorry, how did
dance.
that go again? Okay. We'll just make sure the shot picks that up. Thanks, guys. Much appreciated.
I made that dress, and her friend Enid, I've made that one for Anna, and we're meant to
So
be...
you guys are going
Yeah, doing that together
to
sometime.
do a combo. That will be brilliant.
But we've just both been too busy. We haven't...
Yeah.
Because they're finished.
Oh, they're done?
Yeah.
Oh,
all
wow.
done.
Okay. How... sorry, I feel like I'm bouncing all over the show at the moment because I find this... So one of the reasons I love doing this podcast is I like talking with people that do artistic things that I've either never heard of or I'm going to suck at so much there's no chance I'm ever going to try. And this is going to be one of them, guys. I can't sew a straight line. I remember doing sewing at intermediate as part of the home economics that you had to do. And I had to do a bucket cap? A bucket hat? The one that goes round all the way around? And my sewing was like, "Wah!" And even Dad wouldn't wear it.
I got kicked out of the sewing class in high school.
For being too good, or
No, me and the teacher had
words?
comedic differences over whether or not Monty Python was acceptable to joke about in a Catholic school.
Of course, at school, I never understood that about school. Schools are meant to be positive places, and you're always meant to look on the bright side of life. One that's asleep, one that's done an eye roll. This is going to be hilarious. Dad jokes, I've got 'em. Well, it's kind of my lads, I'm a dad. So with the... I was going somewhere. Here we go. How long does it, on average, because I'm guessing each costume is going to be different, how long does it take from that initial focus where you see something and go, yes, through to completion?
It totally depends on the costume.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. So at the moment, I'm currently working on Padme's costume that she wears from the Phantom Menace. You know, the big red dress with the light up eggs on the skirt.
Oh.
And the big...
Sorry, you said that. I thought it'd be the one where she's in the ground dead. I was like, that's not going to be hard.
I would like to do that.
Okay, so the big flowy red one with the white. It's the white, isn't it? Is it the white?
No. So she's got like a gold crown with a big hairdo thing. Yeah, so I'm working on that at the moment. And I've given myself 6 months to build that. And that's,
6 months?
Yeah. Because there's a lot of new techniques in that I've never attempted before, such as working with... It's called Warbler. It's a thermoplastic.
Warbler. Okay. And how do you work with that?
So it comes in rolls. It's like it's a thermoplastic. It's basically wood chips and a glue, and they've been compressed together to make like it's probably like a fine cardboard. What do you call it?
Substance?
Yeah, but it's not cardboard. It's wood chips. Anyway, you heat it up with a heat gun.
Okay. Yep.
And you can mold it like Play-Doh while it's warm.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So what I've been doing is, cutting these shapes out of it, heating it up a bit, and then moulding it to this crown shape that I want.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, so that's been fun to play with.
Is that going to be one of your biggest pieces that you'll have done?
Yeah, by far. I've wanted to make this costume forever. I attempted it first in I think 2015.
Wow.
And when I tried it then, I was like, this is just far beyond my skill level. There's no way I can do this to the standard that I'd be happy
so
with.
you got to give yourself 7-8 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then Armageddon announced a really cool contest this year called the All Stars competition, and it was open to people who had won prizes previously in their cosplay competition, which I did in 2014. I won the whole thing. And
congratulations.
Thank you. With a Katniss costume, funnily enough.
But
so brilliant. I thought, well, if I'm going to enter as an all-star, I better be doing something that is,
all-star worthy.
All-star worthy, yeah. And so this has been my dream costume since I saw Phantom Menace, which was, 99?
Yeah, 99.
Yeah. And so I'm finally tackling it, and I'm quite a way through it at the moment. And 6 months to make it.
Yeah.
And I've made most of the headdress, and I've patterned out most of the robe at the moment. Yeah.
Northland Artists Conversation are incredibly proud to support the Quarry Arts Centre. Quarry Arts Centre, amazing place, located on Selwyn Ave in Whangarei. Such a wonderfully beautiful venue. They are an art gallery, and they have some amazing exhibitions, and they also hold Te Kōwhai Print Trust as well. Another really, really cool artistic endeavour that's done as well. They will have different exhibitions and shows of all different types of medium available as well, and they're such a long-standing venue in the community as well. Highly recommend you checking them out. Fantastic place. Really, really cool to take the kids and family as well. So, Northland Artists Conversation, proud to support the Quarry Arts Centre. So, you primarily deal with costumes that have a pre-existing IP?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And we've already established Mum and Dad are huge influences.
Yeah.
And we now know that Disney are as well.
Yes.
But who else is there?
Well, back in the early days of the internet.
Yes. Of dial-up?
No, just after,
Okay, so not the really early days.
Not the 90s.
Wow. Was it early 2000s?
Well, early 2000s is what I'm about to talk about.
I feel extra old now. I mean, I am... Anyhow, let's just answer that question, shall we? So back in the early days of internet, DSL.
So,
with peer-to-peer file sharing.
This would be late 2000s, so
okay.
5 onwards. I sort of found out what conventions were from stalking people's websites online. That sounds awful, but...
From engaging in other people's...
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Engaging.
Yes. So I found out about things like the San Diego Comic-Con online.
Yeah.
From seeing other costumers' websites and stuff. And I was like, wow, this is really cool things.
Okay.
And so I just used to read through, they had hundreds and hundreds of hours of work that they'd blogged about on their websites about crafting costumes to go to these conventions and stuff. And I was like, wow, this is cool. This is something I could, get into.
Yeah.
But I didn't think there was anything like that in New Zealand, because why would there be?
Okay, yeah, well, yeah.
Right?
Why? I mean, why?
And then one night I was watching, do you remember C4?
Of course.
Yeah, Di Henwood had a show on there called Insert Video Here.
Yes, I remember
And he
Di.
used to just go around and
Yeah, he did
do
some...
Di things.
Yeah, he's a funny guy, Di.
One year he went to Armageddon. I think it was in 2007.
Oh, wow, okay, yep.
Yeah, the Armageddon Expo.
Yep.
And I saw these nerds walking around dressed up as, like, you know, Sailor Moon or whatever else was popular at the time.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
Oh, this is my kind of people. Because I'd been dressing up for yonks, like, you know, in my childhood, dressing up as Wednesday for, like, I did that for months.
Oh, really? Like, that was your go-to-school outfit?
That was my go-to-school outfit.
Yeah.
One time it was Fox and Socks, you know, like, I was always...
Yeah.
One time in high school, I dressed up as Zaphod Beeblebrox from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, just
okay.
because,
What is the meaning of life?
42.
There we go.
And yeah.
Sorry, everyone, that's a nerd reference.
I didn't think there was a place for, you know, people like me. I just did it because I enjoyed these characters and I thought they wore cool things. And then, saw Armageddon and I was like, hey, can we go to that next year? It's in Auckland. And sure enough, next year we went and I made my very first costume. Or my mum made my costume for me.
What did Mum make you?
Cardcaptor Sakura.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It was.
And what year was that, 2008?
Yeah, so 2008 I went to my first Armageddon and I saw people dressed in like screen-accurate Star Wars costumes. I was like, oh my god,
wow,
this is amazing.
Yeah.
And
that's wicked.
Went back every year since.
So you actually haven't missed a year?
Except for last year when they cancelled it.
That's right. Now,
yes.
I got to see if I can make sure I get this right. The venue that they've always traditionally had was sold, is that correctly?
Yeah. Yeah, from what I understand, it was sold and then they wanted to use it as a movie studio, and then I think the people who hold the conventions there, like Big Boys Toys and all that, they got together and they're like, hey, no, you have to honour our contracts before you can do that sort of. I think that's what happened. I'm not an expert, but that's what I heard.
So that's now the Armageddon Expo. Now, because there's so many, there's like one in Palmy, Wellington, Christchurch. We're talking the main feature one. That's at Auckland.
Labour weekend, always.
And that's at the...
ASB Showgrounds.
In Green Lane?
Yeah.
Yep, okay. Labour weekend. Yes. I haven't been to one. I know. I actually hang my head in shame. The one that I really wanted to go to was the year that Nathan Fillion was meant to be there.
He was there.
He was there?
He waved at Anna and she almost like wet herself. It was quite funny.
Okay.
She was very happy.
I would bet, but that was the only one I really wanted to go to you don't really have a lot of people coming in now, do you? Is it all virtual?
No, it was just virtual during the COVID times.
Right. Okay.
They've been getting guests. They just had one in Tauranga, and they had Jamie Campbell Bower come to that one.
Vecna.
So, yeah, Vecna.
Man, all right. So I'm going to throw this out there for my son. Sean, I love you. If Eddie Munson from Stranger Things 4 turns up, we would definitely be going, and I promise you that. He wants to... So, my son, we watched 4 seasons of Stranger Things in 4 weeks. And he now is just obsessed.
Good.
Yeah. So... I now have to find the Eddie Munson official Hellfire t-shirt to get the denim jacket with the correct shoes and the appropriate wig.
Oh, go to Armageddon for sure. Definitely get the shirt there. I've seen it there.
I don't know if I could say it now because this won't be coming out for a couple of weeks. I found one.
Hey.
It's getting it wasn't the right length. It's a full length sleeve, so it's got to be.
You need the baseball.
Yeah, the raglan style. Yep. So there's a very nice lady locally who does sewing, so she's going to modify it, which is wicked. So Sean, I love you. There you go. So with the cosplay and all of the Armageddon stuff, you finally felt like I am amongst my people.
Yeah, because there were other freaks there running around in costume.
Well, freaks is not really the right word nowadays, is it? They say the geek will inherit the earth. I mean, you look at San Diego Comic-Con, it's become a huge...
massive. It's a bit corporate for me, though.
Very corporate. There's a very good documentary on it called Comic-Con, which actually talks about it. It focuses on 4 different people. One does cosplay from a game that I can't remember. It's one of the, like a huge Gorgon head, but it's very cool. Might be Half-Life or something. One that's a drawer, an illustrator, and then someone that goes to collect the toys. It's a very good documentary. When we're finished, I'll find it for you. Directed by the guy that did Super Size Me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Morgan Spurlock. Good guy, good director. Anywho, so as you've gone down, do you just go to just the Auckland one, or do you go to the Wellington ones now that they're...
I used to go to every single one.
Really?
Yeah. When I was studying in Auckland, I don't even know how the hell I afforded this, because I was a student at the time.
Yeah, a few of us have been students in this room.
Yeah, but I was travelling to, like, Wellington, Hamilton...
I think we both had very different experiences as being students.
Yeah.
Beer and noodles, for me.
Well, that's the thing. I was only eating 2-minute noodles. And yet I was going to Wellington and making these elaborate costumes. I don't know how it happened, but it did. And then... So I'd enter the costume contest every time, and I'd do all right. And then in 2014, like I said, I made Katniss's wedding dress from Hunger Games because it had just come out.
What, Hunger Games number 1? 2. Number 2 again. So it's all catching fire.
Yeah.
We haven't gone the Mockingbird.
Wow. So the wedding dress I made, it transformed into the Mockingjay like it does in the movie.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
It transformed.
It was a transforming wedding dress.
Okay.
So it started off as, the big white frilly thing.
Do you still have photos?
Yeah, I've got photos and video.
Can you email the photos to us?
Sure
We're going to insert a photo here. And maybe a video? Can we do a video? We'll do a video.
I'll send you links to
Thank you.
either or.
We'll get links. That'd be great. So, man, how long did that costume take?
I don't remember. It was, 10 years ago now.
Okay.
But I remember that was my big project for the year, and I worked on it. I went there, and at the time, the costume contest was still doing awards for skits, and my job for that weekend was I am going to win the best skit, because I know this is the best skit that this costume contest has ever seen. I was that confident in it.
Yeah.
And there was 50 or so entrants, right? Incredible costumes. It's really cool to go watch. Anyway, prize giving comes, and they start announcing all the categories. They do novice first, and then the groups, and then they did the best skit award, and I didn't win, and I was livid.
Wow.
Come on, man, this is the best thing. At the end of it, when I transformed, I did the Mockingjay salute, and the whole crowd was just losing their shit and just doing it all back to me. Someone brought me a rose and everything. It was
wow.
It was incredible.
Wow.
And so I didn't win best skit, and I was like, oh. And so I grabbed up all my stuff, and I started trudging out of the hall because I was so angry about it. And then they announced the best in show, which was me.
Which is you.
And I was like, are you serious? Because I didn't think my costume was that great. I just wanted to win the skit award. But then I won best in show for Auckland. I won the New Zealand champion.
Oh, wow.
And then the Trans-Tasman Cup, which is when Armageddon used to do expos in Australia as well.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Those are the good days.
Yeah, right? And the winners from that one had come over, and the Auckland is always the final, and I ended up winning the whole thing.
Wow.
And then the year after, I then got invited back to judge the contest, because the judge who had been doing it since its inception retired at the end of that year. And so then I judged it for
Brilliant. Have you judged any more since, or was it just the one and done?
So I did it for a year, I think, and I went to all the expos, and then I got a job as a flight attendant, and my hours just... I couldn't guarantee I was ever going to have
a life.
Exactly.
Yeah. Were you domestic or international?
International, and then I went to domestic, and then I was like, nah, this ain't for me.
Wow.
And I left.
That's a really... Okay, we're gonna talk about that, because that's a really interesting transition, right? Because obviously we've been talking this whole time, drawing as a kid.
Yeah.
Draw. Teacher says you suck. You give the teacher the middle finger. New teacher says you're good. Draw. And then cosplay the whole time. Yeah. You graduate, your animation as well.
Yeah.
How...
What happened?
Yeah. Let's go with that question.
Right.
How?
What happened is I graduated in 2012 or 13, either or.
Okay.
Got my diploma in 2D animation and then went back and did a year of 3D. And by the time I graduated, I then realised 2D was a completely and utterly dying art, especially in New Zealand.
Right, okay.
My only options were either move to Australia, which I didn't want to do, there's too many snakes and spiders there, or move to America and get a job at Disney. I looked into moving to America and it seemed impossible trying to get a working visa to go over there. And so then I just gave up on it. I was like, I can't be bothered. And so
but what about Weta?
Oh, they didn't have a 2D animation, like the cartoons, the traditional sort of hand-drawn stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I don't want to work on computers. It's not
you,
where my passion was.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
And so cosplay was something I picked up while I was studying, because I was like, well, if I'm going to be turning this into my career, then I need to have a hobby that I can do when I get home to de-stress, and that's where the sewing came in.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, so graduate, decide I don't want to do computer animation.
Yep.
And then I went to the Cut Above Academy, which was in the same building that Freelance was in. And I used to see them, all their weird makeup creations in the elevators between, like, our lunch breaks and stuff.
Oh, yes.
I was like, well, this looks interesting. How about I go study makeup artistry?
Okay.
And so I did that.
Why not?
Yeah. And then I graduated there. So I did special effects makeup for film and television. And that's what I got my diploma in there.
Okay.
Graduated from there, got a job working in a hair salon doing bridal and ball makeup.
Okay.
Quickly realised I absolutely hated it.
All right. Yep.
Yeah.
That'd be quite tedious.
Oh, it was. It was. Well, I was good at it, but it was so stressful doing makeup for, like, wedding days and.
Yeah. Yep. Actually, would you go on site or would they come and you do the makeup?
Mix of both, yeah.
Right, okay.
So now I only do it for friends. Like, I did Anna's hair and makeup for her wedding, and yeah.
Nice, very cool.
Yeah, but the payoff for the stress I was getting it wasn't it.
Okay.
And so then I thought, oh well, new dream, let's become a flight attendant, and I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I ended up there.
Yep. Look, and I mean, we've all had some interesting jobs at one point or another. In my quest to become the glorious podcast host that's in front of you, I once shoveled shit on a chicken farm. Yep. We've all had some weird jobs at one point or another. Although I definitely would say that yours is probably the least weird one. Was there a particular reason that you went, I'm going to become a flight attendant? Was it just like, this pays really well, I get to see the world?
I watched a movie, I think it was View from the Top, and she becomes a flight attendant in it.
That's,
Gwyneth Paltrow, I think.
Yes.
And I was like, well, that seems like a good idea. I reckon
Okay.
I could do that.
Mm-hmm. How long did you do it for?
I did it for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
But
okay.
I got incredible migraines from the altitude and cabin pressure, and I saw a bunch of doctors and stuff about it, and it got to the point where one of them was like, it's your health or your career. Like, if you keep going down this, you're going to screw yourself.
Okay.
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 Yeah, so I left.
Okay. So you're living in Auckland?
Yes, I was at the time.
And then you migrate back up north?
No, so then I went to
You
Tauranga and
didn't?
did sign writing for a year.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
sign writing?
I actually made a lot of the signs down in Whangarei Central, like in the car parks and stuff, and then I made a giant Auckland motorway one. It was fun.
That is okay.
Yeah, but it was just...
Okay, that's different. I mean, but the thing is, like, the flight attendant stuff I could kind of understand because essentially you put on a costume and you have to look a very particular way, right?
Yeah, that was fun.
And then sign writing, essentially you're using... It's not detailed drawing skills.
No. So it was playing with stickers, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who doesn't love stickers?
Yeah. And then I got sick of Tauranga, absolutely hated it down there, and moved back up to Whangarei.
Okay. And how long have you been back here?
I don't remember. All the COVID years sort of blended together.
They do.
I moved up here for a tiny bit, and then I met the love of my life at Anna's father's birthday party.
Yep.
And then followed him down to Auckland.
Back down to Auckland.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I hated Auckland. And then I had to go back there. And I was like, oh, yuck. And then he convinced me that I should take my sewing seriously. He told me, hey, you've actually got an incredible talent here.
Yeah.
Because, like my mum and dad have been telling me that my whole life, but they're my mum and dad. They have to tell me that.
There's a little bit of bias there, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But he was, he's telling me that, and I'm like, enough people have told me this, that it must be true.
Mm.
And so then I thought about it, and I was like, I should go to university and, get a formal degree in sewing and...
Seamstress?
Fashion design.
Fashion design?
Yeah, I went to AUT and started studying fashion design.
Yes.
But I started in the year of 2020.
Aha.
Hey. And so I got about half a year into it, and it was great. It was fantastic. I was picking up all these new skills that, you know, because I've been self-taught since...
Forever.
Yeah, forever. And, they were finessing my skills, and then the pandemic hit, and all of my practical hands-on learning courses I was doing became computer screen things. And
all online stuff.
Yeah, and we just... I went from learning how to do pattern making and all that to all of a sudden making a mood board every week. So
a mood
board.
What is a mood board?
Well, I can tell you because that's what my whole course did.
Okay. Here we go, boys and girls.
It's basically just an inspiration board. So say we're making a garment. Yeah.
What's the next question I'm gonna ask?
What's an inspiration board?
Hey, there we go.
So say your assignment is right, we're making a dress and the theme of it is autumn. Okay. So what you do is you go and find...
leaves.
You might go outside and, collect some leaves, stick them on a piece of paper, take some photos of autumnal colours or whatever. And so you do that, you just collage. And that's what this university course that I was taking turned into. And I just went, nah, safe for me, man.
Now, you've got a student loan for this.
Hey, I sure
and
do.
It's teaching you... primary school arts and crafts.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so I dropped out at the end of that year.
Can't say I blame you, funnily enough.
I did the whole year and then was like, there's no guarantee that next year's going to be any different because we didn't know what was happening in the world at that time.
Or you're not going to do different mood boards.
Yeah, I was sick of it. We did like 5 weeks worth of it. And I was like, nah, I can't do this anymore. It's awful. And I felt so bad for our tutors and stuff because obviously they weren't prepared for it. No one was.
No.
Yeah.
No, the world was completely off guard, I think.
Yeah, so I decided I wasn't going to go back, and sure enough, like I think 2 weeks into the next year, it went all online again and they hadn't prepped anything again.
Wow, okay.
And so I was like, thank God, dodged
right
that
choice.
bullet.
So what do you do now then?
I make YouTube videos.
Do you really?
Yeah, so this year I started a YouTube channel basically just documenting how I make costumes and walking people through the steps so that they can do them themselves.
And what is the channel called?
It's Kealy Ann. Yeah.
Okay. Kealy.Ann or just Kealy?
Kealy Ann.
Kealy Ann. That's it?
Mm-hmm.
No costumes?
No.
Just
my name.
Just your name?
Yeah.
Okay. Not even your whole name?
No. Just that.
And how much success are you having with your channel so far? Because it started the year.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
We just hit 100 subscribers. That's a huge milestone for us.
I'm just about at 650.
I'm not jealous.
Somewhere.
I'm not jealous.
Well, there's not many people who are doing what I do.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
And when we did the when we did our outro for Gabriella on Monday night, I remember saying in the outro, it's like we had 100 subscribers for something that's artistic people in Northland,
right?
New Zealand,
right?
Southern Hemisphere. I'm
amazing.
I'm still genuinely stoked with 100.
That's so cool.
For us, that's wicked. I mean, and it only took 6 months. Oh no, 8 months. 8 months.
Well, there you go. That's
8 months
incredible.
for it to happen for us, which was we're really, really stoked with. And obviously, our content's going to be different.
Yeah.
Yours is going to be
costume creating and sewing.
I would have said interesting in a different way, but that also works. But this is that's why having you on has been really, really cool, because I'd obviously heard about your YouTube channel through Anna, so it's been really nice. to have you on, because now people will have an understanding of... I'm pausing everyone because that is a dirty big plane that was flying past that will be coming through the microphones. Editors,
that's the Kealy flight.
Dear editors, I'm sorry in
I used
advance.
to do that one.
Should have seen Rocky's face.
It's the look of disgust. But other than your YouTube channel, what else, and the All Stars competition that you've got, what else have you got coming up that's cool and exciting that people should know about?
I'm doing a cabaret with Anna in October. She's doing a Halloween cabaret again this year.
Yes.
And she wanted me to do something. She wanted me to do something for it last year, but I was like, I don't have talents that translate well on stage. Like, sure, I can sew, but how do you do a cabaret night of that? So I ended up just drawing her posters for the event.
Okay.
But this year, I'm dressing up in my Wednesday costume that I've made.
Are you going to do the official Wednesday dance?
I probably will, yeah. But
Nice.
I'm going to be doing stand-up as Wednesday.
You're going to do stand-up
Yeah.
as Wednesday?
As Wednesday.
Look, that I have to say, that's impressive for someone that's not an actor. But
Wow.
strangely enough, you are, because I could imagine that when you're going to Armageddon and you're going in these incredibly amazing costumes, you're not going as Kealy. You're going as a representation of the character.
Yeah, I guess so.
So
Yeah.
when people, have you ever gone as Elsa?
No, that's Anna.
That's Anna.
I do Anna. She does Elsa.
You do
Yeah,
Anna.
yeah.
So when you go as Anna, and kids see you,
yeah,
you're not going to go, yeah, g'day guys, how you going?
No, that's Uncle Steve, remember?
That is Uncle. Uncle Steve, nice throwback there. But you're not going to break that illusion for them.
No, not for a child, no.
No. So, I mean, but that in itself is a character, right?
Yeah,
You've become
definitely.
a character, so you're an actor.
Yeah, I did get top of drama in high school, so...
We didn't even cover that.
No.
What the hell? You know what? I'm going to have to get you back in. We're going to have to get you back in either just before or just after Armageddon. Because if it's just before, you can use it to promote your Armageddon All-Stars.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Or, if it's after, we can find out how kick-ass you were.
Oh, yeah, that could be fun.
Yeah, 2 options. Kealy Murphy, thank you so much for coming in. This has been an absolute hoot. And it's funny considering that this whole concept started from you and I sitting down together with producer Andrew at Plunge in 2021. So this is really cool to have it just all come back full circle. So thank you very much. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been so much fun.
Well, there you go, everyone. That was Kealy Murphy. Amazing. She came dressed in her representation of Ariel, the Little Mermaid from Disney's The Little Mermaid, funnily enough. And she looked great. If you're listening to the podcast, what was she wearing? She was wearing like a very nice blue flowy dress with a black top and red hair. She really did look the part. It was super cool. If you're listening, I highly recommend jumping on our Facebook or Instagram, at least having a look at a few photos. A real character, just so cool. And, it was one of those podcasts that kind of, it's funny, we were talking about it on the way out. You have 2 types of people that come in and podcast with us. You have the guests that, you can sit down and have a bit of back and forth with. And it's like, pew, 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 pew. And, you get that real rapport going. Or you have the other type of guest where you'll ask a question, you'll get a really nice, long, in-depth answer. Now, both are cool. And we don't prefer one over the other. But this one was one of those pew, 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 pew ones. And it really was. I'm gonna switch to my camera now. I think the most fascinating thing I found out of Kealy's podcast is, she pretty much from like the start all the way through up until about 80% of the conversation, she's talking about drawing, she's talking about cosplay, she's talking about this, and then she goes, and then I was a flight attendant, and it's like, wait, what? Where did that come from? And then it goes, and then I did sign writing. It's like, what? Okay. And it just out of left field, she's like, I did hair and beauty for a wee while, and it's we'd focus so long on everything she did. I'll be honest, I hadn't seen the other parts coming, and they were super cool, super out of left field, but in the grand scheme of things, kind of makes sense. And I can safely assure you this, that she absolutely loves Tauranga. No, she doesn't. I love Tauranga, though. I lived there for a year. Beautiful place. Anywho, where can you, the viewer or listener, find our podcasts? Well, here we go. You can find us on, for visuals, got to make sure I get that right, for the visuals, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, all at Northland Artists Conversation. For audio, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts, all at Northland Artists Conversation. Sorry, Editor Rocky is making me laugh so much. I'll do that again. For audio, we have got Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts, all Northland Artists Conversation. Thank you, Editor Rocky. I really appreciate that one. And if you are an artist, not like anyone that we've had before, or even if you are someone like we've had before, we want to hear from you. We love sitting down and talking with people. So please don't be a stranger. Come and say hi. Reach out to us. And you can do that by emailing us at hello@northlandartistsconversation.co.nz. Said that in my smooth radio voice. And now, if you want to contribute a little bit more to the podcast, we also have a Patreon page. Patreon is where you as a listener or viewer can donate to keep this wonderful podcast going. We have 2 tiers. The first tier that we have is cup of coffee. That's $5 a month. That's all, $5 a month. That's hardly anything. I think some coffee places sell coffees for like $7-8 nowadays. So it's a cheap coffee. Second tier we have is Coffee Addict. That's $20 a month, but that gives you a couple of extras that you don't get in the cup of coffee tier. What you get is you get a shout out on the podcast, and you also get to ask any of our upcoming guests questions as well. And you can just reach out and go through there. There are 2 ways you can get on Patreon. You can either go to Google, type in Patreon, that's Patreon, top right hand corner, create an account, log in, and then search for Northland Artists Conversation, and then submit and donate from there. The other way you can do it, the even easier way, is www.patreon.com/Northland Artists Conversation. I'm going to shout out our 3 patrons, and we really do appreciate you. First one is Lauren Roach. Lauren, thank you so much. The OG, the original. Thank you for your support. We really do appreciate it. Secondly is Mr. Michael Boter. Again, another guest as well, like Lauren. Thank you again. And lastly, certainly by no means least, we have Maggie Coco. All 3 of you guys have been on the podcast, and we really do appreciate it. Thank you for the support. It has been amazing. Where else do we go from? I'm gonna throw them a wide. I'm gonna get comfy. It's been an interesting year. We're in April now, and it's a good time. Easter was awesome. Love me some Easter chocolate. And yeah, hopefully everyone's had a really good day. This will be coming out around Anzac Day, sort of around that Anzac Day period. So if you've had a day off, please make sure to remember those that have fallen before us, who died in service. It is a very important day. And if you've still got family alive that were there, please make sure you just you let them know that you think of them, because it was a horrific time for the world, and we celebrate those. But on that high note, I do mean high in actually a very genuine and sincere way. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in to the Northland Artists Conversation. This doesn't happen without you guys. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on our social media platforms as well. My name is Mark Kelly. I'm your host. I'm surrounded by a wonderful team of people. We will see you guys real soon.